up, guys? Mr. Zach here. Welcome back to episode 16 of Double Coverage. Today I'm joined by the man who needs no introduction, the youngest heavyweight champion, the most ferocious to ever do it, Mr. Iron Mike Tyson.
Why I didn't the introduction? I wasn't prepared for it.
It comes at you fast.
How you doing?
Doing great.
All right.
It's a big switch on. We're here at the first annual Mike Tyson Invitational in Las Vegas.
Yes.
How did this come together?
I was just I went to listen. This is the truth. I never said this is the truth. I went to Richard Steele's gym in Vegas. For some reason, I had to go there. He asked me to come see the kids. I don't know why I was there, but I was there, and I saw the enthusiasm of the children. And how enthusiastic, and then I watched some of them, but I think there's probably some local, they don't know what they're doing, they start, and some of them were good fighters. And I was saying, wow, these guys have a lot of determination and will. I said, the world has to see this, and this is where I come from. I come from a place, listen, I come from Brownsville, Brooklyn. It's the kind of place, when you open up your refrigerator, you see an apple. One of those places, the road, it's just the worst place you could possibly think of for a kid. And then when I went upstate to New York from a detention center, that I got in trouble, and I started getting involved with boxing. And then we used to go from upstate New York, which is 150 miles, to New York City, the Bronx, and we would box with other kids. And then we would go to Rhode Island and box with kids there. Then go to Boston, box kids there. And we were constantly boxing, constantly busy after school. The weekends we would go box and everything. And guys would have, when you go to a tournament, a guy would have 200 fights, another guy would have 75 fights. Now you go to a tournament, the guys have no fights. These guys are not fighting in the tournaments, they're not winning trophies, medals. And they're just not doing good. I think they're trying to even throw boxing out of the Olympics. They're trying to kick it out. And to do that is just a sin to the art of boxing, to the history of boxing. It's just a sin. And if they're kicking it out the Olympics, how bad can we get?
Yeah.
We can't get any worse.
Well, boxing needs something
So
like
me
this.
coming up with this idea, and I'm not trying to run amateur boxing. I'm an idiot. That's the last thing I want to do is run amateur boxing. So if anybody thinks American boxing, U.S. boxing, I want to run amateur boxing, no, I don't want to do that. I just want the kids to come back and be better athletes and make a better boxing establishment in America. That's all I want to do. I don't want no money. I don't want no. This is just what we deserve. Like the English people say, this is America's birthright, boxing. And the reason we're not in the Olympics and we're not competing as well is it's just pathetic, really, when you think about it. From a boxing person, I'm a boxing man.
Me too.
And anybody that understands what a boxing man is and understands what I'm talking about, understands my vernacular and everything.
Absolutely.
We want to see constant fighting. We want to be able, hey, this week we're going to the box. We want to know we're going to a boxing match for the kids this Saturday, or this Sunday, or this Monday. We're not staying home doing nothing or watching TV or going to the movies or watching young kids improving themselves and making themselves better. And that should make us happy. Exactly.
I share with you, my grandfather and great-grandfather are both from Brownsville. And when I speak to fighters like Zab Judah and Shannon Briggs, they tell me that growing up in Brownsville, the fights were tougher than any other pro fights because there was no rules and no weight classes.
And then again, the fight's not over. They see you again. We fighting again. Yeah. It's not over because you just fought. Let's just say, hey, let's squash this piece of friend. If y'all fighting and it had to be stopped by somebody else, I'll see you tomorrow. You're fighting again till somebody gets or somebody unconsciously bow down.
Yeah.
You know, you got box fighting is weird in Brownsville. Sometimes people get, sometimes on occasion, me and some of my friends, we're 12, we're 11 years old, we go out and steal it. Around 6 of them. It's out there being like a bunch of little, I don't know, it's Wolverines. And sometimes we might get money from somebody, get hit by a car. One of my friends got trying to rob this guy with it. The guy has the my friend's still trying to rob him. And the guy and the guy didn't want to shot him. We said, hey, the guy gave him the money. The guy gave him the money, he still wanted to take the. And, well, I don't even want to talk about it, but yeah, stuff like that will happen. You see stuff like that, and I don't want my kids to see that.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
So happy to be here. I'm going to be there Saturday night to tune in, front row. watch the amateur boxing, and I'm excited that we can bring some enthusiasm back to amateur
Listen,
boxing.
when they see how hard these kids fight for these medals and trophies, they're gonna be crying. They're gonna have so much enthusiastic moments just rooting for the kids and seeing the kids, especially when they see the kids are sophisticated boxers and they're educated in IQ and boxing. They're gonna be so impressed. Listen. This is sometimes I have to realize this right here let me know that I was a narcissist because at first when I first started and this other place, I guess Adidas opened up a boxing mat and somebody else was saying they're the best and we can. I got mad, but it's not about me. I thought it was about me. They want to crush my name. No, it's not about me. It's about us we working together, helping the kids.
Absolutely.
You know, just helping somebody else. It don't have nothing to do with me. Man, I went around boxing. Duh. You know, we can do it together. Together we can run it. You know what I mean?
Help the kids.
100%. That's what it's all about. Please. That's
The
what it's
youth.
all about.
Absolutely.
I believe 100%. I believe.
There's a big difference between you as a young professional and the guys coming up today. In 1985, you fought 15 times. Today, guys fight maybe twice a year. Do you think that helped you coming up in the professional ranks fighting that often?
Listen, all right. I fought 15 fights one year. Then the next year, I was champion, 20 years old. You know, the more you do it, the better you are. You do it, the better you are. That's why when I always go to the park, these Puerto Rican kids, they fight all day, every day. They fight their brothers and sisters in the ring. They're constantly fighting, but that's experience. Then they're kicking their brother's ass. They're fighting for real, though. And that's experience. They're getting more experience. Now they're learning discipline. I don't care who's in that ring, my brother, my mother, anybody, they're going down. Those become the better fighters. You know, because it's all about doing it and developing discipline. I'm not going to go robbing today. I'm going to go to run 6 miles and 6 blocks, something like that. You know, it gives you pride and dignity. When I first started boxing, I came from Brownsville, I had too much pride to go out there and work. But once I started winning fights and being in the amateurs and being proud and people knew my name, you know, I had too much pride to steal.
Absolutely.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
I would never want to steal. I have too much pride. Even though I think I'm some bad, I have too much pride to steal. Because that's what boxing gave me. It gave me dignity because people knew my name now. I don't want to disappoint them and let them down. When I'm a little kid now, look, I made my mistake. But as a little kid, I thought about that. I was somebody. After coming from nothing, I'm somebody.
An identity.
Exactly, yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially when you go to all the amateur the countries and the Russians know your name, you know what I mean? The Japanese know your name. You fight in all the countries, these people know your name. You're just an amateur. And they know you more better than they know the professionals. People in other countries that are not big in professional boxing. They're going to get the experience of a lifetime because they're going to go all over the world fighting. Roberto Duran had called me because he heard about what I was doing. And he said, Mike, I have a team. Would you like to box my team? And I said, I haven't developed a team yet, but once I did, you'll be the first one. So Panama is going to be the first Mike Tyson Invitational competition. Once I develop a team.
Amazing.
Good enough to fight, yes.
I love it. I love it. When I go back and watch you as a young man, a lot of people talk about the first round knockouts, the ferocious finishes, but what impresses me most as a fight historian, someone who goes back and watches film, is your performances against the rough, experienced, larger guys like James Quick Tillis, Mitch Blood Green, Jose Nino Ribalta, your ability to close distance, your speed, your angles, to really take away their advantages and get inside at such a young age. How did it feel being an 18-year-old, 214-pound guy battling giants like that?
Listen, it has nothing to do with size. Fighting has to do with spirit. Nothing to do with size. Nothing to do with unless the guy is too big and he just overpowers you. But as far as determination and will, size really has very little to do with it when it comes to fighting. You know, I never looked at that as a disadvantage. I always look at that as all my disadvantages were my advantage. I was small, I was lower, they couldn't hit me, and I was fast. And when I could hit a little hard. When I hit them, they're kind of dizzy, and I could take advantage of them. Yeah, I'd rather fight the bigger guys, slow guys, than the fast guys.
Yeah, fast guy's harder to catch. You're set to fight a pretty fast guy next month in the Congo against Floyd Mayweather. That's
going to be cool. I'm just looking forward to that. That's going to be something that the crowd will be enjoying, I think.
And how cool is it? It's going to be the same place as the Rumble in the Jungle. That's history.
Hey, listen, when I went over there, it would be so difficult for me to explain the enthusiasm, and it was just something, man. It was something. I can't say I never experienced that, but it was something wonderful to experience.
Absolutely. And this being the place where Ali was and the history there, it's really special.
Well, that's what makes it special.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes it, is Ali. And know what else? I have, I looked at my, what's that stuff they do again? For your heritage, what's that stuff they do? 21andMe, 33andMe.
Oh, the ancestry?
Yeah, my ancestry is in the
Yeah.
Congo.
Wow.
I'm Congolese, yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
So my ancestors are gonna watch me kick some ass.
All right, you're ready to kick some ass.
They're gonna feel me.
Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code DOUBLE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Shoot your shot on PrizePicks and get $50 instantly when you play your first $5. That's right, PrizePicks is now giving you $50 when you sign up and play your first $5 in lineups. PrizePicks makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting. So don't miss your chance to download America's #1 app for sports picks. The NBA has been crazy lately. Bam Adebayo scored 83 points and broke Kobe's record. How nice would it have been to put more on his points that game? But my favorite thing about PrizePicks is the injury reboots. The player that I pick to go more or less on a certain stat gets injured in the first half and doesn't come back, I'm good. PrizePicks has the injury reboot. I've been loving it. Go set your lineups on PrizePicks right now. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections and you can cash in. PrizePicks has everything from tennis to golf to basketball to the UFC. If you can play it, PrizePicks has it. PrizePicks now has early payouts. If your player gets off to a hot start, you can cash out those early winnings before the game even finishes. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code DOUBLE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DOUBLE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. The hand's all good?
Yeah, God, everything's good.
Yeah. But when you're training for a fight, those things happen.
All the time.
Yeah, when you walked into the fight with Jake Paul, you had some pretty serious health issues, but you still made the walk.
You gotta make the walk.
Yeah, absolutely. today guys pull out whatever, but you still, got out there 58 years old and went against a young guy.
Yeah, I like the walk. The walk is something.
Yeah. Something that really, really bothered me about kind of the reactions after the fight is the fans or fighters who insinuate that a champion and a warrior like you would in any way fix a fight or not give your best performance.
I don't want to fix a fight. Well, I don't want to do that.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Look at your legacy.
I'm not gonna make more money. I'm not gonna make any more
get the
money
check regardless,
the fight,
yeah.
right? They're not gonna pay me what I'm getting to throw the fight, right?
No.
If you're not gonna give me what I'm getting to throw the fight, I'm not gonna think about it. So give me less. One man offer me less than what I'm getting. Bunch of idiots out there. They can't compete. No, I'm not gonna say anything.
How does training for this fight against Floyd feel? I mean, compared to some of your past ones and throughout your career?
Well, it's all about Mike Tyson Invitational right now, Floyd,
Yeah.
This is what it's about.
The kids,
about
the youth.
Kids,
yeah, giving back. Because you see yourself in them.
This is the future. I'm the past.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I'm so excited to be here. And it was a shot in the arm that we all needed, especially with the Olympics news.
I agree 100%. Can you imagine that?
No. How is that? A sport with that legacy and that history.
Everybody, even every hotel should open up some amateur club so we could prepare the battle of the world.
Yeah.
Not just to see every hotel should have one. We're fighters. We're supposed to be the strongest people in the world. That's what boxing, the heavyweight champion, even in the UFC, that's what it stands for. The best in the world. And we have nothing to prove it.
Absolutely.
Just
nothing.
reputation.
Speaking of the UFC, Dana White, Nick Khan, they're entering the world of boxing. They're starting up Zuffa Boxing. You held the WBA, the WBC, the IBF belt, and the ring belt as well. It seems like some of the prestige is coming back to the ring belt. They're going to introduce another belt into boxing, the Zuffa Boxing belt. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think boxing needs another belt?
Listen, man, I'm talking about amateur boxing right now. Stop talking about these other outfits and people. They're not involved in our situation, okay? I'm talking about, ask me something about amateur to help these kids, and I'll answer that question. I don't know nothing about these guys, what they're doing with their life. This is about children right now. Bigger than us. It's bigger than those clowns. Bigger than me. How am I bow down to them over this? How am I give you a compliment about them over this? Them. Will you please ask me questions about these kids?
Yeah, absolutely. Who are you excited to see this weekend? Anyone stand out?
No, listen, I want to see little Sean Haney fight. He's getting ready to fight Ryan Garcia's cousin. That's gonna
How
be
great
good.
is that? The rivalry goes into
It
amateurs
continues,
and the
yeah.
family and
Now listen,
everything.
that's
Yeah, absolutely.
everybody's gonna see Devin Haney.
There's a real story
little
there.
brother fighter. Yeah, right, yeah. That's what it's about, but not about who this guy's
Yeah.
doing. He
And
has
it's the
his
next
life. He
generation.
has his children, his life. This is about us,
Yeah.
our future.
Can extend that and have the young people fight, and then they'll come up,
Hey,
and
that's
then
all I
our
think
kids
of.
will watch
Hey,
it,
this is all I
and
want to
grandkids
think
and
about.
everyone.
This is all I want to think about. This is one of my babies I want to accomplish.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
didn't have those kids that have no money. They open the refrigerator, they see an apple. They have no money. They come here, they eat in a hotel like kings. They never experienced living in a hotel or anything. Can you imagine that? They
No.
make them want to improve themselves and become better and better and better. That's all this stuff. That's the whole situation. Is we want to make them feel better. Boxing it's not all about becoming a world champion. Boxing is about what you learn in boxing. You become a world champion in life. Not necessarily in the ring with the belt. This is about making you a champion in life. Everybody's not gonna be champion of the world, but they're gonna be champion in life, and that's what this boxing prepares them for.
We spoke about the women as well. How important is it to help these young women in amateur boxing and help grow them as well?
Well, Carissa Shields, the baddest monster on the planet. She's a good person to look up to, yeah. To make everyone respect women boxing. I know there's other good fighters out there. I know I respect them too, but they're not Carissa Shields. And that's the real deal. And listen, I'm gonna say all those other women boxers out there, they contribute too. I'm not saying they're bums, they ain't worse than anything. I respect them. And I look up to them just as much. The Carissa Shields is just the GOAT, the woke right now, whatever she calls herself. And I give her that respect.
Oh yeah, she's done an all weight class.
Yes, she's helped women boxing. Women boxers should want to kick her ass, but still respect her for that.
Hopefully one of these, young ladies fighting can be the next Clarissa Shields.
They will.
Yeah.
They'll be better one day.
Yeah.
Just like they'll surpass me one day. And that's what I want to be a part of. I want to be part of the guy that said, Mike Tyson, who, look what I did. I want to be part of helping him be that person. I want to be part of that. Because once I'm part of that, then that's what makes me part of him. Right?
Absolutely.
So
you're connected to that forever.
Yeah, for real.
Especially if we can revitalize boxing, because it's been in a bad spot.
If I could inspire somebody to be, from the perspective of the world, better than me, that's something I look at in my hat. I put a feather in my hat. I don't look at him like he's the best. Wow, I helped him become that. That's how I look at life. Like Duran and Ali helped me become this guy I am now.
So important. And that's what's fulfilling you now.
Well, that's what bugs me out. I can't believe I saw this guy and I said I want to be like him, and I became Mike Tyson. Can you imagine that? I see this. I don't know. I just want to be like him. I see Duran, this little Latino guy, this pig. I want to be like him. And I became like them. I'm a pig. I'm telling people to suck this and do that. And by learning all that, going to prison, that made me the person I am now, to care about the kids that I'm working with now. You can imagine that, all that stuff, all that disgusting, negative stuff sometimes, but prison, all that stuff, it all made me this person. And that's why I'm grateful. That's why I'm grateful. I'm not depressed. I'm not so sorry for myself. I became deaf. I beat all the odds. And now I'm going to give something to the world, God willing.
God is great.
God is good even when it looks bad. Even when he looks bad, he's good.
Sean Haney versus Ryan Garcia's. How great is that?
Hey, listen, that's a headliner. You know what I mean? Imagine that alone. That's professional stuff, right?
Yeah.
Listen, it's legacy, man. It's legacy.
And the families and everything, especially in Las Vegas, getting that type of main event in your first invitational, that's incredible.
Listen, God is great. Man. I'm really close friends with the Haneys and stuff, and God is great. Yeah, God is great. Man.
Yeah, I saw Bill earlier. They're excited, and I saw Ryan and Devin talking about it too. They're almost more excited talking about their families than they're talking about themselves.
Listen, we talk about this, even me, because I'm a boxing man. I talk about they don't fight, but they're different than us. They pay more attention to their family than we did. We were fighting too long, too much to pay attention to our family.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another thing that probably didn't go right. I'm fighting too long to really acknowledge my family. And you're going out there little by little, you're getting poisoned by the world, and you distance yourself from your past. So I can't say, but I just know the best fighters came with the guys before the life. That's all I know. Guys with the most experience or the better fight. Look at Pernell. He got like 600 fights. What do you do with guys like that? What do you do this? What do you do with the Manianko? He got like 1,000 amateurs. What do you do with guys like? How can so he wins the fights with two pro fights. He had 1,000 amateur fights out. So that equates to like 60 pro fights.
Literally. How do you, especially you're coming up in your pro career, a few fights in, you got to fight a guy with 1,000 amateur fights
100%.
who lives, breathes boxing all day, every day.
Exactly, understand. Unless you run into my situation when you're trained by a master, then that might be different.
Yeah. There's not too many of those guys out there.
No, it wasn't. I felt the last one. It was meant to me. He said he summoned me. I was telling him I can't believe I came in my life in Brooklyn so bad. I really appreciate it. He said, no, I summoned you. It's no coincidence. He told me that he said, I summoned you. This is no coincidence. Wow. He was into that mystic, you know.
No, there's nothing greater than that. And the fulfillment he got, seeing you come up and through your amateur career and become the man, the young man.
Can I tell you something? I couldn't see it till I got older. Imagine me, even Mike Tyson now, seeing some young kid, like some one of these little kids' cousins or something, become a vicious, savage champ, like me making hundreds of millions of dollars and stuff. He said, I saw Mike Tyson, let's fight and do this. I wanted to be like that. Wow. He's the kind of guy, like, listen, he turns into a big guy doing commercials for Super Bowls, hanging out with the president anytime he wants. He's doing, that's some guy that comes from filth, comes from scum. You know what I mean? Open up the refrigerator, you see a soda, apple, and you know what time it is. And you could go to the president, see him anytime you want. You know what I mean? You're very grateful to be just hanging out with the president. You know what I mean? He was a good man, before he was president. He's a great man. Now that he is president, it's just, it never changed. I just love my life.
Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code DOUBLE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Shoot your shot on PrizePicks and get $50 instantly when you play your first $5. That's right, PrizePicks is now giving you $50 when you sign up and play your first $5 in lineups. PrizePicks makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting. So don't miss your chance to download America's #1 app for sports picks. The NBA has been crazy lately. Bam Adebayo scored 83 points and broke Kobe's record. How nice would it have been to put more on his points that game? But my favorite thing about PrizePicks is the injury reboots. The player that I pick to go more or less on a certain stat gets injured in the first half and doesn't come back, I'm good. PrizePicks has the injury reboot. I've been loving it. Go set your lineups on PrizePicks right now. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections and you can cash in. PrizePicks has everything from tennis to golf to basketball to the UFC. If you can play it, PrizePicks has it. PrizePicks now has early payouts. If your player gets off to a hot start, you can cash out those early winnings before the game even finishes. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code DOUBLE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DOUBLE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Is there any advice you would give these amateur fighters fighting the Mike Tyson Invitational?
I could just give them the experience I had. I don't know what's going to get a lot of fights, get experience, fight, many fights you can. Because it's going to prepare you what you're going to do. Listen, for instance, my trainer, Customato, right? Everything in a manual of boxing, you gotta do road work. Cause you're not doing road work, it's a waste of time. I'd rather you go upstairs and clean your room. Your room is a mess. You should clean your room than road work. I said, no way. I'm in love with the romanticism of boxing, the road work, the bag work, the training, the sit-up, all that stuff. That's the romanticism side of boxing. I love that. I'm in love with that, so that's why I do it. That's the only reason I do it, not because, because what my trainer says is bullshit. I just love boxing. I love everything about it, hitting the bag. I just love everything. I don't want to not run. So yeah, that's the kind of world I come from.
So you're looking for young fighters, amateurs who have that same passion for boxing.
I'm looking for somebody. I'm looking for a nobody that wants to be somebody. That's what I'm looking for.
That's powerful. There's nothing greater than that. And those are the best stories. And if we can help kids, get out of situations and really uplift them and give them a new identity and change lives. That's what boxing's done for over 100 years.
I agree 100%. It's not about anybody. It's about your soul, your heart. You want to help these people. You can hate my guts to want to help these kids and help these kids. Like I said, I don't have the answer. The kids give me the answer. They give me the answer. With their determination, they give me the answer.
That's beautiful.
We got an award for Richard Steele, the Will of Steel Award. And that's because Richard Steele, he stood by these kids in his gym so hard, fought for them and everything with this will of steel. And that's why we're going to honor him with that.
I love that. A little award show, and
yes.
Yeah, and to honor
they deserve
someone like
that's
that.
What I always look for, listen, when I was a young boxer, I don't know if there's any young boxers in the amateurs, we get the Trophy of the Year Award, the Trophy of the Night Award, Outstanding Fighter. All the little kids who walk by that arrogant, I'm going to win that tonight. Just right, like, the guy's fighting right next, I'm winning that tonight. And the guy said, no, you're not. I'm winning that. And he said, no, you're not. Well, I'm winning. Guys are coming, I'm winning it tonight. I'm winning. I'm beating, I'm knocking everybody. Everybody's talking shit about that outstanding trophy. I'm winning it. No, I'm winning it tonight. And that's what I don't know. I hope they think. That's what we did. Like sometimes I look at fights, right? Like we were amateurs, but sometimes we have chance. We may can go to some amateur fights, some international fights, or maybe go to some professional fights. And we would go like this. We see some professional fights might be a little bit heavy. So, oh man, I'm gonna get ripped, man. I'm gonna get ripped. I'm gonna be ripped. I have my clothes on. They don't do that no more, do they? They don't see a constant. Oh, I'm waiting ready to go. I'm gonna be ripped when I go there. I'm gonna go to concert to be ripped. They don't think like that no more. You always thought about ripped, working out hard. I'm ripped. Look at me, I'm ripped. I'm gonna look ripped in the ring. I'm gonna look ripped on the scale. We were weighing it. I'm just a clown. That's what I think about when I think about boxing. How I'm gonna look. So to be the best boxer in the world, you have to, I don't know, they call it, so you have to love yourself the most. The best fighter in the world loves himself the most. He may not act it and stuff, but he loves himself the most. Those are the greatest fighters of all time.
Any other awards besides that one that we're going to give to the kids?
Oh, yeah, we got other one, but that was the main one.
Yeah.
That they're going to be looking forward to.
Hopefully they're all kind of, competing to get that award, and they're arguing with each other who's going to win it.
No, they
bring that spirit
friendly
back.
arguments. Some of them are not friendly. Some of them want the minute. They talk disrespect. I'm knocking everybody out. How can I not get it?
I love it.
Yeah. I talked a lot of crap too.
That's the energy we need.
Yeah, really. Determination. I think when the tennis players come out, I think they should play their music they want. I don't think you should always be the kings or queens, the English or anything. We should all play that makes us play better. If that made them play better, they should come out with their music like the fights and stuff in tennis.
Yeah, your daughter Milan, she's a great tennis player. You're not the only champ in your family.
Well, one day she'll be a champ. She has to watch me to understand how the champs should conduct themselves.
Yeah.
But she will be a champ one day, yes.
You're passionate about young tennis players too, right? We want to see them be the best too.
Man, this is what I realized. I'm 60 years old. I'm not going to be here much longer. I have to get something back. More than money, I have to get something back. You have to get something back. You have to get something back. Something back. You teach children to be valuable, you know what I mean? They become wealthy because they're valuable, not because they're rich, That's what value. We have to teach them value, self-value. Once they have self-value, they have self-independence. They don't need me anymore.
If we can give some kids some self-value this weekend, it'll be a great weekend.
This will give them self-value.
Yeah, that's an amazing cause.
This is something that they could do without anybody helping them. They don't need somebody to help them from a school bully or anything. This is something that they can handle themselves. They've been doing it over and over again. They know the pros and the cons. Imagine being that person that could just dictate your whole life. Because it's very difficult for a person to understand. This is the beginning of learning to be independent. It's just the beginning. One day his coach is going to be sick. He can't come. So he might die. He can't come. But he still has to go to make that walk, like you said. Still got to go to that tournament and win that medal or that trophy. That's what this teaches them, discipline.
And imagine how proud they're going to be to win a trophy.
You won't forget that. So, especially when they're in the boxing world, all their friends in the gym together, they're talking so much stuff.
On social media, everything.
Oh, I forgot that. Look at the trophy, outstanding fighter, social media. Post it, yeah. Everybody else is a punks, Oh, I forgot about that stuff. I'm still back in the 80s. Yeah. Right now, I'm thinking about the 80s. There's a whole new level
now. Especially with Haney and Garcia, they're going to be going at it.
And the streaming, The Zone has it. Some other people are streaming. Oh man, it's gonna be like the biggest amateur competition since the Olympics. Probably surpassed the Olympics.
Yeah, the
Now that we
outreach
got all
is
this
way
stuff,
bigger.
right?
Yeah.
Surpassed the Olympics. They could kick us out the Olympics, but we still have this, Mike Tyson Invitational.
We got all the young kids watching.
Yeah.
And then they'll become boxers.
And us and guys like Roberto Duran would take our teams and fight all over the world that would take us. Anybody that would take us. We go all over the world. They get their team, they'll fight their team. Just keep team after team, team after team. And they just doing that for all the time. This week we go there, maybe next week we go here. We do it weekly, every 2 weeks, monthly, but we get it down. Let's figure it out. We travel the world. Team Tyson versus the world. Team Tyson versus Roberto Duran. Team Tyson versus Russia. Team Tyson versus Scotland. Stuff like that.
And how proud are these young kids going to be to represent their countries?
But listen, how proud are they going to be able to travel and see the world at a young age? I know guys only traveled the world when they was in the team. They never did it with their parents or nothing. They never had money, only with their team. That's the only thing. Only with their team. And then they went home and became something else because they still never traveled the plane since they were kids. And, and they've seen the world. And then some of them get married. It just changes them. It just changed them 100% when they see the world.
Brand new life experiences. Yeah. This is exactly what the young kids need, especially if the Olympics are on the way out. Now we have a way to represent their country and travel the world.
100%. Listen, if you don't want to put our kids in the Olympics, we'll fight all the kids. We'll fight all the kids that want it. We have our little junior Olympics, and we have it, like you say, in different countries in different years. We can have it, different months, whatever. We're going to make our own tournament. Just fight everybody in the world. And everybody could be with us, too. We're not looking to oust nobody. If anybody wants to be USA boxing, if they like us, if we whatever, we can get on. I want everybody to be involved, but this is going to be the biggest stuff in the world.
You got your arms open. Whoever wants to help the kids.
I don't want nobody to say, I'm trying to take anything from anybody. I'm trying to kick anybody out. We got to do this together. This is for the kids. That has nothing to do with us. I put my ego out through Mike Tyson. MIT is nothing. It's nothing without everybody's help.
It's all about the greater good. So if anyone can help,
if they can't do the greater good for kids, then they're not living their life right. They're not doing this for children. They must be something for themselves. That's just the truth. They must want to sell things. This is for the kids. I'm taking no money. I'm not coming out of my pocket. If they don't want to do that stuff, they don't care about the kids. This is for the kids. This is not about no ego, no organization. I don't want no business. I don't need that business. This is for kids.
If they don't want to support it, you can make a bigger event and work with the Zone and all these great people and streamers and social media and just make it bigger than it's ever been.
God willing, God willing. Everybody, I don't know. We'll see, God willing. That's all.
Yeah, God willing, if all hands are on deck and we're open.
And all hands are on deck.
Yeah.
All hands are on deck.
No, it's amazing. And I'm proud to be here.
Can't lose. I'm proud to be here too with you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. It was an honor to interview you, and I'm really excited to watch these fights this weekend.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. 45 years ago, legendary trainer Cus D'Amato summoned a young kid from Brownsville, Brooklyn. Previously, Cus had trained Floyd Patterson to be the youngest heavyweight champion in the history of the sport at that time. After this, he taught, trained, and willed Mike Tyson to be the youngest heavyweight champion in the history of the sport when in 1986 he defeated Trevor Berbick. 2 years later, Tyson would defeat Michael Spinks, staking his claim to be the undisputed champ. Now, it's 2026, and we're here at the inaugural Mike Tyson Invitational. And to me, this is Mike's greatest achievement, embodying the spirit of his legendary trainer, Cus D'Amato. He's passing down the same gift that he had gotten as a kid, and I know firsthand from growing up in a boxing gym how important it is to get into the sport of boxing. It teaches you confidence, discipline, and respect that nothing else can replicate. Please, if you can, support the Mike Tyson Invitational and any other amateur boxing clubs in your area. This episode is dedicated to the legends, Cus D'Amato and my first boxing trainer, Carlos Panama Lewis. Rest in peace to two legends.